Hey everyone, this is PrinceWatercress, and welcome back to Let's Play Superman for the Nintendo Entertainment System. In the last video, we got the remainder of the power extensions that we could get at this point in the game. And now, it's finally time to head back to the Apollo Theater again, because, well, that's where we needed to go. So first things first, let's not grab any green kryptonite. And do I really want to fly there? I basically could. Let's go ahead and fly to Metropolis Park, I believe. Yeah, we can fly to Metropolis Park. Let's go ahead and do that. That'll save us quite a bit of legwork for what we're going to be doing. And as soon as we land here, we are going to have to deal with that guy. But it shouldn't be too difficult to deal with. I want to equip heat vision, because I'm going to need it coming up. And turns out you can refill all of the power-ups, including heat vision and super flight. But to refill those two, you need to go into a building and fight the enemies there. And if the enemies are powerful enough, really, there was bad kryptonite there. If the enemies are powerful enough, you will be able to get super flight and heat vision refills by chance. Anyway, this should be the Apollo Theater. I just need to beat this guy up. Apollo Theater. Okay. So we're going to have to deal with these guys as soon as we go in. And I may as well go ahead and just drop down as soon as I get in. And these guys are going to try to fight me. And of course, as you can see, you can actually get these two things from inside buildings. Now, for this third floor, I'm going to need Super Breath 2. So I finally found out that there is a difference between Super Breath 1 and Super Breath 2, and it's actually more distinct than I thought it was. Turns out you only use 2 for enemies. 1 you use for something completely different, and I'll mention that when the time comes. For now, though, I want to fight the zombies, and I want to do so carefully. Or I can just drop down here. Stop it! And I want to make sure that these guys don't hit me a whole bunch when they show up. I want to make sure I equip heat vision again. And it's boss time against Zeora, who I believe is one of Zod's henchmen. You want to hit her with heat vision as much as you can. And when she's approaching, you want to hit her with your punches. And that's not how I want to do things. Stop jumping! Stop jumping! There we go. Yeah, hit her with heat vision as much as you can. And when you run out, just resort to punches. If you can get at least... If you can miss at least no more than once, you'll have an easy time against her. When you run out, just back up and switch to punches whenever she starts approaching you on the ground. And if you're close enough, and you're also a little lucky, you can hit her. Anyway, we have now defeated the Zod Gang, which is pretty weird because, well, we haven't seen General Zod and any of his henchmen other than the one person we've just fought. Unless that really was a gang that was named after General Zod or something. I don't know. But once you press the A button, you'll get another headline on the Daily Planets. Stock market panic. Stock prices fall. Cause unknown? So, we now have the newspaper name misspelled as Daily Planets. Not sure if you noticed that. But we also had a Zod Gang, which only had one person with any ties to Zod. Okay. And as soon as you press A again, you'll be back in the Daily Planet. If you look at the upper left corner, you'll find out that you have this thing saying free. And if you talk to Jamie Olsen here, why don't you take this subway pass? It can be used on all the subways. So finally, we can use the subway. We are now in Chapter 2, although the game doesn't really tell you that you've entered a new chapter. The only way to really know, per se, is to get a newspaper telling you that you did something. Whenever you, well, do something. And when you start Chapter 2, you'll have the subway pass automatically. You don't have to talk to Jimmy, but he does tell you what it is. And if you talk to Lois Lane, you'll learn about stocks at the Centerville stock market. Find out why stock prices have fallen so much. Very well then. Well, time to go. And as soon as we go in here, we'll have to deal with zombies. And you may take a hit just trying to get away from them. And they seem to be faster than you, apparently, which I don't seem to like. At least these guys keep dropping super breath pickups. Still, not the easiest enemies to fight. So, we need to head all the way to Centerville. And to do that, we're going to have to fly to Andersonville and work from there. So, let's get to Andersonville. Let's make sure we press A until the little white triangle is there. Then press start. And then you will fly off to Andersonville. And we need to be careful when fighting enemies here because, well, they will give us a hard time. Also, I want to keep Super Breath 2 equipped because there will be zombies and other screens coming up. And I want to make sure that I'm ready to fight them. So thankfully, whenever you're running around on anywhere in the game, rather, not just the overworld, you'll always see the same type of enemy in the area where you are currently at. You'll never have to deal with, say, the guys with the daggers or the gangsters and, say, the guys with the whips or the zombies at the same time. If one enemy is a zombie or a gangster or a big green guy with a dagger or a muscular guy with a whip, they're all going to be that same enemy. So keep that in mind when you're going from screen to screen. And of course, when these guys show up, they'll be the only enemy you'll see too. And I really don't like these guys because they love to jump around and give me a hard time and hit me when I don't expect them to do it. So what I usually do is I just tap the button that I'm intending to go. I tap that direction just every so often. So in case an enemy shows up that I don't like, I can deal with them all one at a time. Where am I? Okay, we need to head to Centerville. I'm not going to fly there, though. Not yet. And yeah, more zombies. Yeah, I told you that there would be more zombies popping up as you went along. And here, we don't have to deal with enemies at all. We just have NPCs that we've already talked to. But this little subway entrance leads to T-Boro. And I actually want to go over there. So now that we have the subway pass, we can just press down at the subway entrance, and we can take the subway. Even if you're Superman, you can still take the subway and ride with people who are 3 times taller than you. And now, a couple seconds later, we are now in T-Boro, which is excellent. This is the Metro Police Station. I don't want to go over there yet, though we will be going there a little later on. We do need... Is there anything... Right. There's something here that we can do. There's the China Garden, which I'm pretty sure is a restaurant. But there's another place that we need to go to. And it's right here. Let's beat this guy up and find out where we are. Fireman's Memorial Museum. So for this particular building, you want to equip Super Breath 1. Why do you want to do that? Well, it's to fight all these fire enemies. Just breathe it on them and they'll go down. And when you defeat all the fire enemies, you'll get an extension for heat vision. Now that that's over with, we need to take the subway back to where we originally were, because there's not much else that we can do around here. At least for now. And I managed to pull a fast one on that zombie. I thought for a minute I would have to equip Super Breath 2 out of the blue, but thankfully that was not the case. And now we need to head to the old city. However, we can't fly there, even though we could do it from T-Boro. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and equip Super Breath 2 because I need it coming up. And we need to head to the Metropolis Bank, which is further to the west. Because I can fight some enemies there and know that I can fly to the old city from there. I think. And yeah, you're better off just having Super Breath ready from the jump. Just have your finger right there on the B button in case you know there's a zombie coming up. Like, I forgot they were going to show up there. And that's where I wanted to go, the Metropolis Bank. So I can fight some enemies here. And I can take them down for heat vision and super flight. That should be enough. Okay, we can fly to the old city. How much do we have? Okay, we're almost full. So I'm just going to go in here one more time. Face the enemies here. And make sure that I'm filled up on everything. How am I looking now? Cool, we have everything filled up. Good. I'm going to equip Super Breath just in case, because I don't want to deal with that zombie enemy. There we go. And now, we need to head to the old city. Which is right there. So as soon as we press start, we're going to land in the old city, and we need to be ready to be attacked because there's going to be 2 guys approaching us at once. Well, 3 now because I went so far to the left. Just far enough. And this building right here is where we need to go. This is the fish market. So we need to defeat the enemies in here carefully. There should be 3 of them, and we got a extension for Super Breath 1. And when you go in here, there will be no more enemies. Instead, you'll see NPCs. Thank you for saving me from the Dragons Gang. The Dragons Gang? Well, that explains all the Kung Fu fighters I've been seeing recently. All the fish was almost spoiled. They say they are going to set fire to one LexCorp Plaza in Lafayette. Any more for any more as far as... No. Okay. Can we fly to Lafayette right now? Well, we can fly to Sentinel. That's good enough for me. And from here, we're gonna refill on Superflight when I get back to the bank. Ow! Once again, I don't like dealing with the zombies here at all. Never liked dealing with them. Really? Alright. Let's go ahead and get Superflight again. Why are you jumping me right now? Alright, how are we looking for... I could still go for a few refills on Superflight. Really? Well, at least I can grab that. How are we looking now? That should be good enough. That should be good enough, I believe. Let's go ahead and check the map to be sure. Cool. We can fly to Lafayette now. So, let us go ahead and do that. And the triangle was already there. We can also fly to Pelham if we want, but no reason to do so right now. Anyway, let's go ahead and fly to Lafayette. And be ready to be surrounded as soon as you get here, too. Because you got more of these guys. At least I managed to get both of them on one side. So, we need to look for a certain building. I want to make sure that I can fight them. Although, I may want to use a certain strategy before I do this. I know that this is going to make things a little harder, but at least if I do this, I'll get a little bit of health. Really? Well, at least I'm still getting a net gain. And one LexCorp Plaza, that's where we need to go, but I'd like some health before I do this. Thankfully, you can always go back and forth here. And switch between Clark Kent and Superman in case you're having a hard time getting health. Which I welcome. Because let's face it, getting beat up in this game is not fun. Especially when it happens from that far away. Okay, we're at full health now. Wanted to make sure that I didn't get absolutely destroyed. Really, before I am done with what I need to do in here. And thankfully, now is probably the best time to refill health because we need Super Breath 1 for this, and thankfully this is easy. So let's go ahead and put the fires out, and we'll get a Super Spin extension. And once you come out, nothing but NPCs in this area. Thank heavens! By the way, you are very loudly dressed. Well, excuse me for dressing like a superhero. Also, we now have a help message in the upper right-hand corner. Good heavens! They said they are also going to rob Metropolis Bank. Seneville. So there are people here now who are going to give us a hard time in the Metropolis Bank now. And we are going to have to fight them. So, can we fly to Seneville right now? We can. We have enough juice to do it. So, let us do it. And that location where the help alert is, it's centered directly above the first E in Seneville. That's where the bank is. In case you've been using your map everywhere you've went. So, in case you're wondering where it is in relation to everything else on the map, now you know. So, now that we are back in the Seneville area, let's try not to get hurt a whole bunch, and let's go in here. And we have gangsters. Brilliant. And now we have this guy sliding around like he's playing baseball. Do you like Chinese noodles? Hi, I'm Cindy. I'm a Pisces. I love Chihuahuas and Chinese noodles. That's exactly what that reminded me of, by the way. And there's a fourth guy, and if you beat him up, don't look for the dragon. It's useless. Once you beat him up, you'll be able to get the heat vision. Or no, that's the X-ray vision extension, not heat vision. We are getting quite a bit of things done here. We have everything that we can get at this point in the game. We are all set. And you may also have noticed our attack and defense powers have now increased. Those two stats above super hearing, those will increase as you complete chapters in the game. So you can get past weaker enemies and even some stronger ones with more relative ease. So at least we got that going on. Anyway, let's go ahead and leave the bank. I don't know who you are, but thank you. Can you take the criminals to the Metro Police Station in T-Borough? Yep, we gotta go back to T-Borough. Also, we now have a picture of a guy with a hat and sunglasses in the upper left-hand corner. We now have the crooks in our inventory. And it doesn't seem like there's anyone else here. And there's the stock market. But first things first, I want to deal with flying around and making sure that I get to... Well, it's a good thing they gave you the pass, because that's how we're going to get over there now. And the enemies are back. Though that is rather nice. At least that guy is there. Albeit only once to tell you to head to T-Borough to throw the bad guys in prison. And, well, since everything's going on like normal here, I might as well just go ahead and go through here again. Just to pick up refills for Super Flight. I might as well do that. Just make everything easier on myself just in case. Can you stop kicking me? Jeez. And we should be good. We're almost good on Super Flight. One more. And managed to take care of everybody just like that. And managed to freeze that guy. I thought I missed. So, now that we have the criminals in custody, more or less, I mean, they are in our inventory, we just need to head back to T-Boro. And thankfully, if you don't have the flight power, which you might want to use in case you're low on health, unless you're using the Clark Kent trick. I call it the Clark Kent trick. It's more like the Clark Kent rule. You can't really get Superman powers while you're Clark Kent. Unless you're using that, you don't have to worry much about health. Sometimes. But even then, you might as well just go ahead and use the subway just to give your powers a bit of a rest. And I'm facing away from this guy when I show back up here, which is really weird. Anyway, the Metro Police Station is to the left of where we come out from the subway. And when we go in here, we can talk to these people. Thanks for catching the Dragon Gang. You will have to eat prison food. And now the Dragon Gang is out of our inventory, and we can talk to this guy. I know that he's talking to the Dragon Gang, but this looks like it's directed towards you, Superman. Anyway, now that that's over with, let's go ahead and get out of T-Boro because we don't need to be here anymore. And from here, we need to head back to Centerville, and we need to head to the stock market. But what's going to happen when we head over there? Join me next time where we find out. Until then, this is PrinceWatercress. Take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching!